Konnan, did you watch Dynamite?
Yes, I did.
Joe, what was the Dynamite number?
894.
What was it last week?
Like 820 or something?
Yeah, it was lower than that. It was in the 820s, I think. Yeah. This goes right.
Yeah. All right. So they start off with they had this show had the culmination of some things that they're doing here. So they've been doing like 2 out of the 5 segments they do on this show is has episodic storytelling and stuff I'm kind of interested in, right? So right. So they do they have Jericho and Takeshita against Sammy and Garcia. Garcia's gonna get over his big. Garcia does that dance thing. Right. He's gonna get over. He's getting over with that. Like the people are starting to do that. He's gonna be babyface.
Would you like to do that dance for us, Disco? Yes,
nailed it.
Actually entertaining.
Yeah, it is.
So basically, so Garcia had Jericho in the Lion Tamer, and then Callis came in and hit Garcia with Jericho's bat. Jericho stood up and said, "What the?" And for some reason, the guy that's supposed to be working the sensor didn't get there. He's like,
"Oh yeah, that's true."
Yeah. I'm like, "Yeah, whoever's working on that, I don't know how you could have let that." These shows are like a 7-second delay, and you have a censor there, a guy.
Like you don't see him saying "what the," and then
right.
Yeah.
And the guy just missed this, or maybe they don't have them anymore. I don't know. But at the end, Jericho looked conflicted while the broadcast team said he chose the Callis family over the Jericho appreciation side. They said Jericho made his choice, even though he still looked conflicted. Jericho's obviously wants to be a baby face. So because honestly, he should be. The crowd sings his song every time he comes out. It's all, you're fighting against, you're being a heel, but the crowd wants to cheer you because they're singing your song. He should just be a babyface. Would you agree with that?
I think he's going to turn. Yeah, I think it's time. He knows it. They're just milking it, And, bro, they buried the ref because Don, hit the guy with the bat instead of keeping the bat or throwing it out of the ring. It landed in the ring, and the ref had to pretend he didn't see it,
Right. So next was this is a very little minor thing that they've been doing well on the show lately, which is good episodic storytelling because it gives you a hook for the next week and asks you what you're interested in. So Jericho is walking backstage where Renee Paquette chased after and tried to ask him what happened. And Matt Menard showed up and said there would be a mandatory meeting of the Jericho Appreciation Society this week. So that's good. So now we know, okay, now they're going to have a big meeting again next week, and that's something I have to watch. I want to see where that goes. That's good stuff. Would you agree with that? And it's simple.
Yeah, and we said it a couple weeks ago. Him and MJF are the only ones really doing entertaining episodic TV, and everybody, right. And that's very interesting. But it stands out instead of these rush matches that mean nothing, matches that have no build up. It stands out.
Bro, this is a 60-second clip in the back that just furthers the storyline. It's just like it fills in pieces of where stuff's going and makes you interested, right? So this is weird. So Jack Perry comes out for a promo. Jerry Lynn walks on the stage and said Jungle doesn't run the show. Lynn said he'd love to make an example of Perry, but he'd be child abuse. And Lynn said he doesn't run the show either, nor would a doctor clear him due to his neck issues. And Lynn said he called a good friend of his who wrestled ECW and still wrestles today. Van Damme comes out to his Pantera song, and he gets in the ring. They get face to face, and Perry backs off and walks out and walks around the ring and walks to the back. And that was the segment. What did you think of this segment?
No, didn't he sit in the front row and put some little girl on his lap?
Oh, did I miss something here? Yeah. Oh no, I guess I did miss. Okay, when I saw Perry walking away, I didn't see the rest of this. So I saw okay, so I guess Perry. Oh no, this is what it was. Oh no, I did see this. I had forgotten about this. Lynn joined RVD in the ring, and RVD did his thumb point in the crowd chanted RVD, and then Perry returned to the ring and stuck a chair at RVD, who ducked it, and RVD threw a spin kick to Perry, ducked. Perry left the ring and hopped the barricade and put a girl in front of him as a shield while he sat in the front row for a moment before making his exit. The funniest thing about that is the announcers completely just in no way or whatever sold the fact that he took the kid and put her in his lap in front of him. They don't sell anything on that. When a segment is over, the announcers go "Oh God, that was terrible." I'll get to the point where they do this, okay?
Yeah, the stuff between him and Perry was not that good, but just the fact of seeing RVD and the people chanting his name was great. What I didn't know, and I read this today on Twitter, and if I would have known, I would have asked him when I was on the show. I did not know he was diagnosed with CTE.
Who?
Yeah, he did a documentary
Van Damme.
on concussions and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Wait,
what can he do in the ring?
With CTE? You can find that out when you're dead, don't you?
No, I think you can now when you're alive.
Yeah, they're coming up with ways to pre-diagnose it, whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, all right.
Yeah, they're finding ways of finding the proteins that cause
Yes.
CTE in your brain, and so yeah.
So he's got CTE.
So
They're going to let him wrestle.
maybe when he starts,
Don't drill him.
yeah, we'll see what happens exactly. But and I did like him coming out to his song because I like Pantera.
I would have preferred some verbiage here, though, is what I'm getting at.
There was some verbiage. He did
Jerry
talk a little bit.
Yeah.
No, but then he talked backstage when the girl Renee Paquette interviewed him.
Yeah, well, that's when we can get to that.
That's later on. Yeah.
Yeah. So John Moxley versus Penta versus Trent Beretta, and this is just a garbage match with tables and barbed wire bats and everything. And the Beretta was bleeding. Moxley was wrapping his barbed wire around his head and everything. But what you call Beretta pinned Penta. Okay. And after the match, Moxley put Beretta in a chokehold. Moxley's Blackpool Combat Club showed up, and Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor cut them off and fought, and they got the better of Cassidy and Taylor, but Beretta dove into the Blackpool Combat Club from the top rope. Taylor threw a chair at Castagnoli, who wisely put his hand up, and Cassidy hit Moxley with the orange punch. Then Taylor took the mic and challenged him to face him, Cassidy and Beretta in the parking lot at Daly's place. So they're going to do another parking lot street fight. And I'm sure what Joe has already given that match 5 stars.
And a half.
Because, yeah.
Someone going through a back window or a windshield? Yeah, that's a star.
I mean, what did you think of this, Konnan?
Well, 2 weeks ago, they had that Anything Goes match where they had everything in there. Glass, thumbtacks, a bed of nails.
Yeah,
what's the difference now?
Right, they did the same thing.
And the thing is, like, here's a problem I have. I watch a lot of wrestling, as so do you, especially in AAA. We do a lot of, because, the people like hardcore matches in Mexico. And so we'll do a lot of matches where you can use props. I've seen it so many times, break a table, use barbed wire, use thumbtacks. To me, it's kind of old, but I guess for people that haven't seen as many matches as me, they like it because they were popping. What was funny to me is that I thought for sure Moxley was going to bleed, but I guess in his match now, it doesn't matter if he bleeds, but somebody's going to bleed, whether it's Trent Beretta, the referee, or somebody else. But there always seems to want to have blood. I don't know if maybe in the ratings it shows when they have blood, ratings go up. I don't know why, or maybe because it's a weapons match, somebody has to bleed. But the match was good, but I'm not a big fan of hardcore matches as much as I used to be.
There's so many. They had so many on the show. It's like a regular occurrence, right? Yeah.
The thing about hardcore matches and street fights that I'm sure you guys are well aware is that TV, it's not so great, but for the people that are there, it's awesome. Because you can't see boxers fight right in front of you in the crowd or MMA guys. Wrestling's the only thing that does that, really. So when they come out and fight past you or kick your beer or whatever, that's unique. It's different for someone at a live performance,
So next, backstage, Paquette interviewed RVD, who challenged Jack Perry to defend the FTW Championship against him, and RVD said he's inflated the value of titles and has retired them. So it depends on how much fun he has next week. So MJF comes out. He basically he's cutting babyface promo, basically saying that people called him when he grew up, and he knows he's a scumbag. But he says he's your scumbag now. Then he introduced Cole. Cole walked out without music. It's kind of weird that they do these spots without music. Cole told MJF he continues to impress him every day. He said he's one of the best wrestlers in the world at a young age. He said he's also impressed by the man that MJF is becoming. And Cole said MJF is not alone. He said he was a jerk for years because he thought that's what he had to do to succeed. It took him years to figure out what a man should be. Cole said that people love MJF because they know deep down in MJF's heart there's a good guy in there. Cole said he and the fans are incredibly proud of him. The MJF said he enjoyed Cole performing verbal on him and recalled telling the fans he's still a scumbag. MJF said Cole doesn't deserve a match. And MJF followed up by saying that Cole doesn't deserve just any match. He pulled out a contract and said Cole deserves a face in the main event at All In at Wembley Stadium. MJF said there's no one he would love to make history with more than Cole. He told him to sign the contract, which he did. And Cole told MJF that he loves him, and MJF told Cole that he loves him too, and they hugged. MJF told Cole he's obviously going to win, and they both posed on the ropes. Backstage, Roderick Strong, who's like the jilted lover, he's
throwing around with a neck. And not even at not selling his neck. Yeah, okay.
Okay, but so then
now that seems like that would have been.
I'm not finished. Okay. So then he throws around the mat. For some reason, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett show up, and Taven said Cole always forgets about his real friends, and Taven and Bennett walked away while Strong seethed.
Okay, you being a Ring of Honor historian, why would they bring that up? Is there some past history with those three?
I vaguely remember them being allied to, as like they're Adams guys, lackeys, henchmen, whatever. You know, I was going to say, though, I feel like a little plagiarism there because what did you say? He said self. Or what did he say in the promo? That's Konnan's line.
Yeah.
Konnan says that. Performance self yourself. They stole that from the show. I'm sure.
All back from Konnan.
Yeah.
All right. So my only problem with this is I don't want to like. Why are these guys wrestling each other now? There's no heat here. It's like they have to build some heat out of this, but it's like I wouldn't put these guys against each other right now. They're doing better as a team.
I think what they're trying to see is like they're hinging on who's going to turn on who, and it may happen in London. I think that's what they're banking on, because at first I thought, all right, MJF's going to turn. He has to turn. You know, that's what all good heels do. But, bro, he's proving to be a ratings draw, and the people really like him. So I'm almost thinking Cole and the other guy are going to beat him up and go, before you do it to us, we did it to you.
Yeah, it's not like he hadn't been – I mean, it's not like Cole hadn't been a heel various times, you know? So,
right.
So this is a weird match. I don't know why this match is taking place. The Elite – bro, that's the thing. If guys are in angles with people, it's like matches like this just – I don't understand this. Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, and Kenny Omega against Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and Satnam Singh. How was this – like, where did this come from? The Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy, Brandon Cutler climbed the apron, and Karen Jarrett interfered. Matt Hardy came out. Jeff Hardy came out. And I don't even know who would like. Are any of these teams in angles with you? Like, what's going on here? Like,
there's something
Matt
with
Hardy and
Jarrett. Yeah, there's something with Jarrett and the Hardys, isn't there?
I guess.
I think so.
But basically, they hit the One Wing Angel, pin Lethal, and afterwards, Nick. They announced to the crowd that they re-signed with AEW afterwards.
Which got zero pop, right? That got zero pop. And just to show you how smart the fans are, when he said, and you never know, we might show up on Collision, the place popped because they knew that. And I'm thinking that if Tony Khan, because I doubt they signed for the same amount of money, I'm thinking that, you know, if he gave all of them a raise, he said, all right, we're going to do this, but we need to do something with CM Punk. We need to fix it. You need to go to Collision and do business, or he needs to come here. That's what I'm thinking. So
next we go. This was interesting because this was weird to me. Okay. Not weird. I like the content here, but so basically they had a Swerve, AR Fox, and Prince Nana, and then AR Fox explaining why he turned. Okay. And they're all there. Then, Swerve said they take care of ours and spoke about a movie that he just made. So then this is weird. This could have been chopped up into 2 weeks, in my opinion. They should have had an interview with these guys and done this package that they had where they show up at Buddy Wayne's Wrestling Academy, Swerve and Fox, and Nick Wayne's there and he's training with some guys, and basically they beat up all the guys and leave Nick Wayne bloodied. Right, but this is the second blood of this is the second guy bleeding on the show, right? But this was the part of Konnan. This was a good segment, and it looked kind of like when they were fighting. It looked kind of like like a little bit of a struggle. Like it looked good,
they
right?
Were struggling, yeah.
And then they left him laying, and when they come out of the break, this is literally like this is the announcers. Oh, that was terrible. Oh, that was horrible. Did you see that? That was terrible. That was their tone of voice. Like that's how they sold it. And I don't know. What did you notice that, Konnan?
They're so concerned on what's going to pop up on their screen next. You know?
Oh, yeah. What is Konnan?
What do I know?
So as I see, okay, so they beat the guy up.
So now the fight looked like a real struggle.
They leave these guys away, and it's a good segment here. And they leave Nick Wayne bleeding. And Konnan, I said when they come out of they come out of this and go back to the announcers, this is how the announcers sold it. Oh my God, that was terrible. Did you guys see that? That was horrible. And that was their tone of voice. Like no sell.
Oh my God.
Like it should have been like, oh my God, did you say that's hard? Sell it. The announcers, I don't know. They're caught asleep. It's like maybe they didn't know they're pitching to them or something. It's like, come on, guys. Like that.
I didn't catch that, but that's how it was. It's incredible. This is something that's supposed to be outside the box, different. They went to the guy's house. What I don't like, I hate this when they do this in wrestling. They do it a lot. It's like no disrespect to the guy because I don't know who he is, but. Like they put the picture of his dad, like anybody's supposed to know who he is, except that, people that live in Washington or wherever he's from. Like, bro, that doesn't matter. Nobody cares about nobody's dad, their mother, their brother, their sister. Unless they're part of an angle, nobody cares. And they keep always coming back to that. Like I was watching NXT this Tuesday. NXT is actually pretty good now. I was watching NXT because I wanted to see Dominic, and bro, it's just a really good show right now. Because like a couple years ago, like 5 years ago, it was great because it had all these people. They had a lot of great talent. Then when Vince changed it around, it got really corny and really bad, and now it's starting to get good again. And they had this thing with Roxanne Perez, who they like a lot. And she was trained by Booker T and also a guy from AAA called Daga.
Here's scratch against your cheek.
Okay, sorry. They do this thing where she shows up in the lobby of the hotel and her mom's there and her stepdad's there and her sister's there. And they get comments from all three putting her over. And I'm thinking to myself, who gives a,
All right, so next is the last two segments aren't much to talk about here because Aussie Open is defending the Ring of Honor tag team titles against Vikingo and Commander with Alex Abraham is jumping around like an idiot out there.
You like his Mickey Mouse gloves? Nothing.
No. This was not a bad match, and I'm not a fan of that. I watched this because it wasn't that long. I think it was like 8 minutes and everything, but they actually laid this out well because they made it look like Commander and Vikingo were going to win, but they didn't. But then they basically hit Commander with their finisher and pinned him. But Vikingo's been taking too many losses for a guy that's supposed to be an attraction. I mean, I wonder what his record is on Dynamite because it can't be very good. I think he's only won one match. Even if he did win, has he won a match yet? I don't think he's won a match.
I don't think so.
And he's your AAA champion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a shot at you, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't doubt it
at
all. Well, it ain't hurting me at all.
So next is
he has a 53% win percentage in AEW, but I'll get you Dynamite.
What about Dynamite? Yeah, because I can't recall him winning a match on Dynamite.
The other shows really are kind of irrelevant to me in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, me too. So you got any comment about this match? By the way, what'd you think?
Good match. I liked it. Two Australian guys against two Mexican guys, and kind of like they kind of know the lucha style and they were able to base for them. And these guys came out and did some cool, and the people were into it. Good match.
Because these guys did a good job of taking their offense and selling it pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So that's because bro, if you don't. Like the thing, you got to take some spectacular bumps for these guys if they're doing spectacular moves. That's what makes it a thing. If you just take like if you're not putting the effort into selling the Mexican offense, it's not going to. They're not going to look good, So they're taking big bumps from these guys. So yeah, I thought those guys worked really well for that. So
yeah,
but nobody I could give two about the Ring of Honor tag team titles. Unfortunately, and I don't know why this match was on this show. With no build-up or nothing, just
because they're trying to use their show as a platform to get over Ring of Honor, but they don't. A lot of people don't care. It just isn't. They need their own TV show.
This just came across to me as another match that they had just because guys have belts to defend. Is what it comes across.
Why don't you make Rampage your Ring of Honor show? Right. That way you don't got to be putting the on here.
Yeah. I think it's like I said. There's not much difference between the AEW Dynamite product and Ring of Honor. They took Ring of Honor and the very important match style.
Right, but imagine the people that don't know that didn't watch Ring of Honor. There's a lot of fans that are newer and didn't watch it. To me, just make Rampage Ring of Honor show, and that's it.
Yeah, because to them, the people that don't have knowledge of the history of Ring of Honor, it's just the third show with guys I don't know. That's basically what it is,
All right.
By the way, the Kingo is 1-3 on Dynamite, so there you go.
All right, so. They do
maybe if he was in New Japan, nothing like Ospreay.
Yeah. So Hikaru Shida got won a match against Nyla Rose last week, which gave her this title shot. So that's the build up for this. Okay, she won a match and now she's got a title shot. And so Shida goes over. Okay, and they did a thing where Saraya grabbed the kendo stick that Shida brought to the ring with her and slid in the ring. The referee stood and watched a championship challenger fight over it, and even the broadcast team was surprised he didn't intervene. So even the announcers had to put over, what is the referee doing here? He's acting like, what an idiot, is what they're trying to imply. Shida got the stick and knocked Soho off the apron with it. Then Storm grabbed the spray paint used on Shida while the referee cleared the kendo stick from the ring. You have to watch this. Okay, you have to take a leap of faith to that this thing does not look completely fake, and then the acting was atrocious here by the referee.
This is. Go ahead.
Okay, Storm set up for a finish, and Sheeta tried to backdrop her. Storm countered in a roll up, and then Sheeta hooked Storm's legs and pinned her. So just out of nowhere, Toni Storm lost, and I'm sorry. I watched this match from start to finish. I don't know Hikaru Shida, the hype, like this girl's work is not like a girl that should be the champion. Like I'm not really buying like this girl is like this is the champ. Like her work is that good. I don't know. What'd you think of this?
Bro, first of all, this is how disjointed the booking can be sometimes, and that could be Tony trying to do too many things at one time. But Sheeta but Nyla Rose in Rampage, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a Rampage match, and it wasn't even a number one contenders match. At least you would have had a reason for Dynamite. It's almost like afterwards they just decided, why don't we just make this a championship match? I mean, you could have built it up from the show before. Do you feel what I'm saying?
Of course.
Okay. And on top of that, I'm sorry, bro. I know Sheeta's probably nice to work with, very pleasant, like most Japanese wrestlers. But who gives about all that, bro? Toni Storm, now that she's a heel, she looks more comfortable. She has a star look. She can go. She's physical. That match was pretty physical. And I will say this, Sheeta got physical for being much smaller. But I didn't think there was any reason to take that title off of Storm right now, and especially not to her.
No, not. This wasn't a believable finish to I think a lot of people. Here's Powell's POV. Yep, right. Booked the women's division better. This made for a nice moment to cap off the 200th episode. But by the way, this was the 200th episode. This did not seem like the 200th. And plus, like the fact that this match was the main event, and they built it up on Rampage with one match. So it's like whatever.
The only thing that was actually special on the show, in a show that's known for doing a lot of surprises, was RVD.
Mm. Yeah.
There's nothing else that you would say, oh wow, this was special because it's a 200th episode.
Right.
And I don't understand.
Except the video at the beginning, where they showed like the last 4 years, and they included Cody, which I wasn't sure if they would. But go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just going to say, I didn't agree with Storm and Sheeta, kind of like you said, just, push Storm, leave it with her for a minute. Sheeta's already had, she was the first girl you guys crowned really, so why go back to the well? I mean, she's good and all, but give Toni the chance, They seem like they didn't do that, and they haven't done it since they brought her over.
Here's my question. The Mogul Embassy, right? Disco?
Yeah.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Is Brian Cage, those two guys, Taquana Loao, or what's his name, Feeney?
The members right now, Quan Toa Leona. Yeah, those guys.
Okay, Quan Toa Leona, Brian Cage, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think one guy got fired, or got released. But remember, he was wearing with the two guys stitches, and the other guy with all the face tattoos that looked like the mini Brock Lesnar.
Right.
Yes.
5 guys. Why aren't any of these guys with them when they went to beat up this guy in the compound?
And I don't know if you said Swerve and AR in it too, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, the Nana was the one holding the camera, though. Nana was the one holding the camera. So.
Yeah, he adds a lot. Yeah, Nana, without him, there wouldn't even be a group. But he must probably think I hate him because I just bury the guy. But I bury anybody that's going out there and not really doing anything or adding anything. I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
I just think I'm negative because he was a manager in Ring of Honor when that wasn't that regular. So it was kind of the same thing.
I'm just negative because he doesn't add anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Don adds something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But most of the managers don't. Yeah,
okay, that's
on the review. I didn't think it was a fascinating show for 200th episode, but I was very interested in the Jericho and MJF thing, which is the only thing that kind of have me hooked.
All right, so that's been our AEW review.